Hi students, and welcome to today's live Ielts class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Welcome everybody. In today's class we are looking at Ielts speaking part 1. We are focusing on Band 9 strategy and we're going to do lots and lots of practice. In today's class I will be reaching out to students and we will be having some speaking part 1 conversations, giving an estimated band score and analyzing the responses. Welcome Arda, hi Mien, hello Harwinder, welcome to our members, welcome Carolina, our chat moderator, and welcome to many of our regular students, Shakshi, Shanju, Biars, be nice to see so many of you in the class today. This lesson, everybody, is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic Ielts success, definitely join us there and join the thousands of students who succeed with us on their Ielts exams every month. For general Ielts students, visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have tons and tons of information and materials to help you pass your Ielts exam. This is our general Ielts website here with the green background at gieltshelp.com. You can click this big red button that's just right by my head here to join our premium package. We are an official British Council Ielts test registration center and certified agents, so you're in great hands with us. For the academic Ielts, it's this blue background. We separate the academic and the general into two different websites, two different applications, because it makes sense. If you're studying for the academic, you should only be focusing on the academic. If you're studying for the general, you should focus on the general. The speaking and the listening are the same for both, so of course it's great to pay attention to this lesson regardless, but for the writing and for the reading there are some important differences. And again, just click that big red button there to join our premium package. When you do, you'll have this My Student account. And we're going to use this website today in this class to speak with some of our students. So there's a lot of really cool functions with this website. So we're going to actually use this in a few minutes. Okay, everyone. I decided to just kind of give a little bit of extra help. And for those of you who decide to get our premium package today, you can get this 20% discount code here, which is R4TYJ. So you can use that to get a 20% discount off of those premium packages. Okay. Riza, if you sent me an email regarding the premium package, I'll definitely check that out and I'll get back to you, or one of my colleagues will get back to you for sure, okay? If anybody has questions about our products or about the Ielts exam, just send me an email and we'll get back to you in short notice. My email is right there, adrian@aehelp.com. So you can send me an email there. You can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp for academic, GIELTS help for general. And you can also get our apps from your app store, Academic Ielts Help or General Ielts Help. The apps will actually link to your web accounts, so you can learn from the app or your web account. And you can switch between them, which is a really cool and useful function as well. So we've got lots of classes this week, all the way until Saturday. We will have live classes, okay? We'll have some writing tomorrow for members, and we'll have lots more speaking and some reading as well in the week. Students, this is a speaking class, so I strongly encourage you to speak. Whether or not I'm speaking directly with you in the class, don't worry about it, just speak. So copy my sentences, even what I'm saying right now. Like say, even what I'm saying right now. So just copy what I say. Copying it's not the perfect way to learn to speak, but it's a good way to practice. And it's a good way to improve intonation, natural sounding language, flow and fluency. So definitely speak and repeat during this class. So my voice is still a little bit off. I've been getting over this bad cold, and I got to be careful because I love to yell and shout, as some of you know. But I should try to save my voice a little bit. So speak and repeat, okay? Speak and repeat. Copy what I say. I speak with a West Coast North American style of English. That's kind of like what you would hear in many movies. You would hear in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, Portland, Washington, the state of Washington, not Washington, D.C., Vancouver, Victoria, and I'm in Victoria. Okay, so everybody, IELTS speaking, it's a 12-minute interview. It's a very, very short time to prove your English. So you have to do your best. You have to practice. You have to learn strategy, and you have to show great communication, okay? 12 minutes is unfortunately not a lot of time to show your level of spoken English. It's kind of unfair, but it's the only logistical way for IELTS to do it. If they spent an hour talking to you, yeah, that would be way better, but then the exam would probably also cost more like $1,000 instead of $300. So you've got 12 minutes, so you really have to be top from the beginning all the way to the end. So here's a nice idiom to kind of start you off with this. In IELTS speaking, or in the speaking interview, you must put your best foot forward right away, as you only have 12 minutes to show off your English level. Okay, I've actually included 2 idioms here. Using some idiomatic language is a really good idea. We're actually releasing lots of vocabulary videos, and we'll be doing idiomatic videos as well on our Instagram and on our YouTube and YouTube Shorts. So check those out. The idiom here is put your best foot forward. It means to show your best possible self right away. Okay, so that's what that means. And show off means to display. And it usually means to display with confidence. Okay, so put your best foot forward and show off your English. All right, that's what you have to do. Yeah, Anton, absolutely. It means to do your best. Okay. All right. So how do you do that, right? That's probably your next question is like, okay, Adrian, that's a good tip. And what do I do to put my best foot forward and show off my English in 12 minutes? Well, there are definitely a few important points to remember. There's a lot of information there. We're going to talk about these strategies and practice them today, okay? So tip number 1, walk in there with confidence. And one way to do that is show up early and practice with other candidates. Another way to do that is what you're doing right now. It's to participate in this class and volunteer to practice your speaking with me in these live classes. That will definitely build your confidence to speak in English. So it's fantastic, and we'll do that in a little bit, okay? So show up to your exam an hour early. Okay, and show your fluency right away. So that's another important step in putting your best foot forward, is show your fluency right away. And what I mean by that is speak in full sentences and use the question or the questions in your answers, okay? The next tip here is when you get stuck, especially in part 1, give examples, okay? Especially when you get stuck, okay? And a third one, and now this, a fourth one, and this fourth tip now is very specific to speaking part 1, is talk about yourself, okay? So speaking part 1 is going to be about you. So you want to make sure that you use the pronouns I, me, my, myself. It's a great way to start your responses, okay? Sometimes people talk general in part 1, like they'll say people do this and individuals like this, but you have to be very careful because most of these questions, maybe all of them, are actually about you. So you have to be talking about yourself. Sometimes people will say, oh, you know, you do this and you do that. That's bad, okay? You're not talking about the examiner. Don't say you, say I, okay? So in part 1, the questions are about you. So use the pronouns I, me, my, myself, okay? And definitely don't use the pronouns you, or don't use the subjective nouns people, okay? All right, so let's get into it. Let's get practicing. So you walk into your IELTS speaking interview and you're feeling confident, you showed up early, and you will be met by an examiner who's kind of like me, likely a native English speaker, if not, definitely an expert user of the English language. They will be professional. They'll have professional clothes on. If it's a guy, you'll usually see a dress shirt and a tie, maybe even a blazer. If it's a woman, you'll see a dress or maybe a tie and a shirt as well. And they're there to do a job. So are you, okay? So do that job. And they're going to be professional. So they will start by saying, welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. The candidate number is 79531. We are conducting this interview in London. The time right now is 15 o'clock, and now we shall begin. I'm recording this for marking and clerical purposes. May I see your identification? The first question is always this one. May I see your identification? They need to match you with your identification and your registration paper. So give me a nice full sentence for this one, students. Okay, write it into the chat. I'm doing really well, Mohammed. Thank you for asking. I'm on the mend for sure. Janil says we want you as our examiner. There are lots of examiners, Janil, who are very, very similar to my style. The examiner I had when I sat the IELTS exam, he was pretty much like me, just had a little bit more of a British accent. Okay, so Arda says gladly. Here, let me just grab Arda's response here to speed this up. So this is Arda's response here. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So Arda says, gladly, just a moment, please. Here is my passport that I used to register for this exam. Please have a look at my credentials. Very good. And that works, and that's nice fluent language. Okay, all right. Me says, certainly, this is the ID that I used for registration a couple of weeks back. Please take a look. Now, students, definitely practice different ways to say this so that you're natural, and say it nice and fast. You don't have to talk quickly throughout the interview, but the questions where the examiner knows that most students should be familiar, like these introductory questions, you should be able to say them nice and fast, okay? So Sammy says, yes, certainly. Here's my international ID card that I used to register for this exam 4 weeks ago through the online portal. Please have a look. One sec. Let me flip to the page with my personal info. Here you go. Okay, Sammy, that was good. It's nice and long. Definitely say it fast if you're saying all of that. And careful, there were a couple of corrections that I gave you there. Okay. Aziz Beck says, yeah, sure. Here's my passport that I utilized for enrollment a few months ago. Please take a look. Aziz Beck, it's okay, but it's unnatural. So I understand it. It's clear, but it's unnatural. Native speakers wouldn't say I utilized for enrollment. It's just awkward. So don't force words, okay? Don't force awkward words into your response. Keep this a bit simpler, okay? You don't need to go over the top, so don't overdo it, all right? That sounds awkward and you'll actually lose marks even though you're using good vocabulary, okay? All right, Shaheen says, indeed, here's my passport I used for registration. Please have a look. Great. Okay, so you're showing off your fluency, your ability to be natural, to be original. Very good. All right, and then the next question always is, what is your full name? And there's kind of a hidden question there. The examiners will ask you this if you don't say it. So they'll also ask you, and what should I call you? And they literally say exactly this, and what should I call you, if you don't say, okay? And what should I call you? Okay, and so, again, give a nice full sentence answer and answer that second question. Don't wait for it, okay? So what is your full name and what should I call you? Okay, Gurpreet says, my full name is Gurpreet Singh Sharma, as my first name is Gurpreet Singh and my family name is Sharma. And you address me by my first name, Gurpreet Singh. Okay, it's a bit of a mouthful, Gurpreet. Let me make a correction here. So you're being fluent, but you want to be natural as well. So this is what Gurpreet is answering. Let's transform this. Let's change this a bit so that it's a bit more concise. So by being fluent, you don't want to be wordy. Okay, wordy means speaking unnecessarily. So don't speak unnecessarily. So my full name is Gurpreet Singh Sama. You don't need as, just simply my first name is Gurpreet. You wouldn't, unless it's Gurpreet Singh as one name, if it's two names, then your middle name is Singh, okay? So it's a bit confusing here. Definitely avoid that kind of a confusing communication. So my first name is Gurpreet and my family name is Sama. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing these names correctly. And you address me by my first name is really awkward. We've got grammar mistakes, tense mistakes here. Keep it simpler and keep it polite. Please address, it's general, it's not past tense. Please address me not by my first name, you've already said that, so as Gurpreet. Okay, so here I'm saying exactly what you just said, Gurpreet, just more concise, more natural, without mistakes, okay? So one more time, here we go. What is your full name? My full name is Gurpreet Singh Sama. My first name is Gurpreet and my family name is Sama. Please address me as Gurpreet. Okay, Gurpreet. For part one, I will ask you some questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Okay, and remember, it's all about you. Okay, all right. So we've got lots of good answers for this. Pay attention. Don't make mistakes in the beginning. Okay, so remember, you're putting your best foot forward. If you're making mistakes in the very beginning, it will hurt your mark. Okay, I'm not going to lie about it. Some people say, oh, but I'm not getting marked for these first few questions. Yeah, you are. Technically, maybe not, but the examiner is already making judgments based on these answers. Okay, everyone, we are going to do some live speaking here, and I'm going to call some students. So I'm going to give as much of a chance for people to speak in today's class as possible. And I will analyze your responses, okay? And let me show you how to do this, okay? So I'm going to be looking for volunteers, and we've got tons and tons of amazing students in our live class today. We've got over 400 people watching right now, which is fantastic. So I'm sure we'll have some volunteers. I've decided to do something special. We're actually going to raffle some full course winners from our volunteers. And I'll tell you about that later on as well. Okay, so it's good to volunteer because you'll have a chance to win one of our courses at the end of each week. It's kind of something we decided, it's a nice way to repay our volunteers for being brave. So here are the instructions. As you can see, I've kind of put these up here. Okay, so to volunteer for speaking, you want to follow these steps. First, you need to register a free or a paid account. Okay, this can absolutely be free. You don't have to pay for it. So register a free or a paid account on our website. Okay, and here's our website. And you can register an account a paid one by clicking the red button. I think it's absolutely worth it. So especially with that discount code today, or here this green button there to register a free one. And then once you have that, then you have this My Student account, which is right up there above my head. Okay. So you go to your My Student account. And if you want, go through the tour at some point. And then in your My Student account, you have tons of materials, practice exams, computer-based exams, interactive courses, videos, lots more. And then you have this student partner speaking. It's just up there, okay? The student partner speaking is absolutely free. You can practice your IELTS speaking with other students. It's a chat program. It's like WhatsApp or Messenger where you can chat with other students. And by the way, if you like doing this and you want to do a full IELTS speaking practice interview with me, and you want to get feedback and practice, it's a 30-minute session, then you can use that paid service, which is the yellow button, the speaking interview practice. Okay, so you click on this student partner speaking, okay? You have to accept, of course, that you're going to speak politely, okay? And then once you're in here, you will see lots of other students. So right now I can see that Arsilan, Niyaz, me, Bandita, Shaheen, Anish, Marjona, Sami, Pushpendra, and lots of other students. Tons and tons of students are in here, which is nice to see, okay? So we're going to practice with some of these students, and I'm going to try to practice with students that haven't had a chance yet. So I know that Shaheen has been patiently kind of waiting to practice. Let me get my headset on here. Now, again, just a couple of important steps as we set up for this practice, everyone. Make sure that you have your microphone and your speaker enabled for the website. Okay, so when your browser says, allow this website to use your microphone. Yeah, okay, we can't do it any other way. When we are actually speaking with each other, just mute your YouTube so it's not coming back into your microphone, okay? So I'm going to reach out to Shaheen here and message Shaheen just to make sure Shaheen's there. Okay, I can see Shaheen says, I want to volunteer. I'm just going to write, are you ready? Okay, Shaheen, so if you're ready, I'm going to call you and we'll connect. And then we'll get going with some questions. Okay, all right. So Shaheen says, always. All right, Shaheen. So I'm just going to call Shaheen here and we'll get going.
Hello,
Hi, Shaheen.
how are you today?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing very well.
Excellent. Shaheen, may I ask, where are you right now?
I am in home right now.
Okay, and which city, which country are you in?
I'm from Azerbaijan. and Baku.
Baku in Azerbaijan. All right.
Yes, capital of Azerbaijan.
Okay, excellent. All right, Shaheen. So I will ask you a couple of questions. And again, speak in full sentences. These questions are
Okay.
about you. And then I'll give you some feedback about how you did, okay?
Okay.
All right, Shaheen. Here we go. Where is your hometown?
I'm sorry. What?
Where is your hometown?
My hometown is Baku, where is capital city of Azerbaijan. It's the biggest city of my country.
What do you like about it?
I really appreciate my city's central street, which is called Nizam Street. There are a lot of activities that you can hang out with your friends or your family. There are some restaurants and other entertainment place in this street.
Okay. All right, Shaheen. Excellent. So that would be about a band 5 to a band 5.5. Let me analyze what you did well and what you can do to improve. And actually, I'll reach out to some of our students that are watching as well, and maybe they can give us some good feedback also. Does that sound good?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So my first question was, where is your hometown? Now, in IELTS, you can answer truthfully or you can just make it up. You can talk about the city where you're living right now, or you can talk about the city where you grow up, okay, or you grew up. You just have to say it's my hometown, okay? So when I asked you this question, it sounded like you didn't catch it at first. So at first, you weren't really sure what the question was asking.
I didn't hear your question firstly.
Yeah, and I got that. So you said, I'm sorry, what? Okay, it's a bit awkward. So if you want, and that happens in the IELTS. So sometimes we don't catch the question or we don't hear it clearly, even as a native speaker. So it's natural and it's normal and it's okay to ask for a question to be repeated. But you have to ask for that in a clearer way, okay? So I'm sorry, what is kind of, it's almost rude. It's a bit awkward. It's like, I'm sorry, what? Right? So you want to say it a little bit better. So you want to say something like, I didn't catch the question. Could you please repeat it? Okay? It's just much more polite and it's more fluent as well. Okay? And then the examiner will repeat the question. So they're allowed to repeat it. Some examiners won't. Some examiners will just go to the next question. If they do that, don't worry about it. Just keep going, okay? But usually examiners will repeat the question, okay? And then you said, my hometown is Baku. Where is the capital city of Azerbaijan? Simplify yourself. So my hometown is Baku, the capital city of Azerbaijan. Okay, and you said it's the biggest city in my country. You said of my country, it's in my country. Don't worry about prepositions, okay? So this is for many students out there. I know a lot of students worry about, saying in, at, on correctly. Don't stress too much about that. Prepositions are challenging in any foreign language, so you will kind of learn them as you practice, okay? Where is your hometown? You want to be a little bit more specific. So you gave a nice full answer, but especially like for me, I'm not too familiar with Azerbaijan or the geography of it. The city of Baku, is it in the center of Azerbaijan? Is it in the southern part? Is it close to the ocean? Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Of course, I can. It's the east part of Azerbaijan and it's the coast of Hazar Sea. Have you heard Hazar Sea?
Hazar Sea? I'm not familiar with it, but now I am. So it's in the eastern part of the country on the coast of Hazar Sea?
Hazard.
Hazard Sea. Yes, I have heard of it. Yeah, I have heard of it. Yeah. Okay, that's going to get you a much better band score when you say it like that. Okay, now I'm going to get to the next question as well here and analyze that a little bit. So the next question I asked you is, what do you like about it? And you said, I really appreciate my city's central...
I'm sorry, it's called in English Caspian Sea.
Of course, yes, I'm very familiar with the Caspian Sea. Yes. Caspian Sea. Very good. Yeah, you want to be accurate for sure. Caspian Sea, that I know. Okay. All right. So what do you like about it? You said, I really appreciate my city's central street. Central street, I understand it, but it's a little bit awkward. We would say Main Street. Okay. Main Street. I know it's tricky. Like, when do you say central? When do you say main? But in this case, it's Main Street or Main Strip. And you might want to actually say the name of that street. Okay, so I really appreciate my city's main strip. It's a big street with lots of activities. Okay. And there are lots of activities. Okay, that's good. And then here, you said where you can hang out with your friends or your family. Students, what does Shaheen have to do a little bit differently here? And I gave this suggestion.
Hang out with family.
Yeah, just a sec, Shaheen. So I think you're starting to figure that out. Let's see if any of our students know what the mistake was here in this part, where you can hang out with your friends or your family. So Shaheen should have used a different word here to make this a little bit better, and then given an example. Yeah, so Arda, if you look at the chat, and Mia, and a couple of people are saying, you're saying you and your family. Shaheen, so many students do this. So many people say you and yours, right? But we're not talking about me, we're talking about you. My question is, what do you like about it? So instead of saying where you can hang out, you should say where I can hang out with my friends and my family. Okay, so my friends and my family. And then you give an example. You say, last Saturday, I went to a great Japanese restaurant there and ate sushi, okay, for example. So that would get you a much better mark. Okay. All right. So Shaheen, we're going to do this one more time, and I'm going to read the question, read the answer, and then you just repeat the answer. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
All right. So where is your hometown? My hometown is Baku, the capital city of Azerbaijan. It's the biggest city in my country. It's in the eastern part of the country on the coast of the Caspian Sea. So where is your hometown?
My hometown is Baku, the capital city of Azerbaijan. It's the biggest city in my country. It's in the eastern part of the country on the coast of Caspian Sea.
What do you like about it? I really appreciate my city's main strip. It's a big street, and there are lots of activities where I can hang out with my friends and my family. Last Saturday, I went to a great Japanese restaurant there and ate sushi. What do you like about it?
I really appreciate my city's main street. It's the big street, and there are lots of activities where I can hang out with my friends and my family. Last Saturday, I went to a great Japanese restaurant there and ate sushi.
Okay. And Shaheen, that's what you need to do to get those higher band scores. So those would score you a very, very high band, even as high as band 8, band 9. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what you want to practice. Okay, Shaheen, thank you so much for volunteering and helping others learn as well. So mistakes are common among students, Shaheen. So the mistakes that you're making, lots of other students make them as well in their speaking and communication. So thanks for helping everybody. Give a round of applause, students, to Shaheen, because that was really brave. You're very, very welcome, Shaheen. Okay, we'll take another volunteer. Oops, sorry, Shaheen, you hung up and I'm calling you back. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we'll take another volunteer. And thank you for the claps for Shaheen. He was very, very brave. Okay. I'm trying to think of who I haven't spoken with. So, Sammy, I'm going to try you again because I think we've had trouble connecting in the past. So, Sammy, I'm going to reach out to you. Hopefully, I can get a hold of you. I'm really giving an effort here. I hope you had a chance to test the speaking with some other students. One way, everyone, that you can make sure that I can connect with you in these live classes is try to connect with other students and make sure that the system is working for you in your country and your microphone and speakers are set up correctly, okay? So let's try it with Sammy. So Sammy, are you ready? And of course, this system will work better on a laptop or a computer. It should work on your phone as well, but it's a bit easier when you've got just bigger equipment. Okay, Sammy's ready, so we're going to call Sammy here. Okay, Sammy, one of our longtime members. Hi, Sammy. I can hear the feedback, Sammy. Can you mute the YouTube?
Yes. Hi,
Okay.
Adrian.
Hi, Sammy. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. Finally, we're able to connect. I can hear your voice.
Yes, I'm so happy.
All right. Okay, Sammy. May I ask, why are you taking the IELTS exam?
I'm taking this IELTS exam because I would like to migrate to Canada to work there as well as to have a better life.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Life is pretty good in Canada, especially if you're willing to work hard and enjoy every moment. So that's a great goal. And I'm glad that you're part of our membership and you're attending these classes. So it's great to have you here. Okay, so
Thank you.
Sammy, I'm going to ask you a question or two, and then just the same, we'll go through it and we'll analyze it, and I'm sure everybody will have some good strategies and tips to pick up from our conversation, okay?
Sure.
All right. So let's talk about parties. How often do you go to a party?
I go to parties twice in a week, and recently I went to my friend's wedding. That was on 10th of November, and it was located in city of Chennai. I enjoyed a lot in that wedding.
Which is your favorite kind of party?
I like birthday parties of kids because I like kids very much, and whenever I go there, I can see a lot of children, and I play and talk to them. It is so, it makes me so happy, and I think 2 months ago, I went to my brother's son, Alan's birthday, and it was so nice.
All right. So good. Okay, I'll analyze that. So that would be about a band 6.5, maybe a band 7, Sammy. Okay. You're nice and
Okay.
fluent, and I would say probably a 6.5, closer to a 6.5. So again, speaking is very subjective. Some examiners are a little bit harder than me. Some examiners might be a little bit easier than me. So band scores can really kind of swing like half a band up or down. So if somebody's tougher than me, they would give you a band 6. And maybe one or two examiners might give you even a band 7. But you can get a band 7, I think, Sammy, as long as you make a couple of small corrections in your responses, okay?
Okay.
So my first question was, how often do you go to a party? And you said, I go to parties twice a week. So you went right away with the quantitative, which is okay. I always recommend saying qualitative and then quantitative. What I mean by that is I go to parties quite often or quite frequently, if I want to paraphrase. I'd say twice in a week. Okay. And then you said,
Okay.
and recently I went to my friend's wedding. So you went from the answer right away to the example. Try to always include an explanation. Okay. And the way that you can do that is as soon as you give the answer, you immediately follow with the word because. And because will force you to give a reason. Okay. And your brain, trust your brain. Okay. So your brain is really good at coming up with reasons because that's what we do all our lives, no matter what country we live in. If you look at children, you realize that from a very early age, we become experts at giving reasons for our actions and our thinking. So I go to parties quite frequently. I'd say twice a week because I have a big family. Okay,
Okay.
so that
Yeah.
will come to your mind. And then you can say, and recently I went to my friend's wedding that was on the 10th of November. And then you said the city, which I can't remember, but I'll just make one up in Mumbai. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. And then you can stop there. All right. So you don't have to keep speaking. You kept speaking there a bit and I let you speak, but a lot of examiners won't be that kind. They'll interrupt you if they feel like you're ranting and you're going off topic. Okay. So it really has to be just answer, explain, example, and keep your example short and to the point. Okay.
Sure.
All right. And then I asked you which is your favorite kind of party. And you said, I like birthday parties of kids. It's a bit unnatural to say it that way. So keep your adjectives and your nouns simple. So I like kids' birthday parties. Okay. Okay. So I like kids' birthday parties. It's more natural. It's simpler. I like kids' birthday parties because I like children very much. Try not to repeat the same word, especially if you know other ways to say it. So try to paraphrase yourself. I like children very much because they're full of laughter and fun. Okay, and then you can say, I went to my brother's son's, Alan's, birthday party last week. Again, you want to be a little bit more natural here, Sammy. So, brother's son, who is your brother's son to you?
Nephew.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Niece.
Yeah, exactly. Nephew. That's right. And I bet a lot of other people that are watching, students today, were thinking that they're like, oh, he should have said nephew. Yeah, because nephew is clearer, it's more natural, and it's lexical resource marks. So you're picking up many more marks by finding the correct word, right? So I went to my nephew's birthday party last week and it was a blast, which is a nice natural expression. Okay. All right, and that's how you would push. So not a lot of changes, Sammy. So I'm not changing a lot. I'm just simplifying what you're saying and changing a couple of words. I know you're like, well, yeah, it sounds easy, but it's not that easy to do that, right? It takes practice. Okay. So let's do the same. So I'm going to read the question, the answer, and then I'll read the question again and give me the correct answer. Does that sound like a good idea?
Yes, certainly.
All right. Okay, here we go. So how often do you go to a party? I go to parties quite frequently. I'd say twice a week because I have a big family. And recently I went to my friend's wedding that was on the 10th of November in Mumbai. How often do you go to a party?
I go to parties quite frequently. I would say twice in a week because I have a big family. And recently, I went to my friend's wedding that was on 10th of November in the city of Mumbai.
Which is your favorite kind of party? I like kids' birthday parties because I like children very much. Since they are full of laughter and fun. I went to my nephew's birthday party last week and it was a blast. Which is your favorite kind of party?
I like kids' birthday parties because I like children very much because they are full of laughter and fun. I went to my nephew's birthday party last week and it was a blast.
Okay, and that would be, so if you were to say it exactly like how you just did, that would be a band 9. Okay, so your pronunciation there, your fluency, and I kind of felt like you were reading a bit, but that's okay. That would be an example of band 9. And notice how I even replaced that second because with the since, just to not repeat myself. However, even if you repeat a couple of words like because, it's not the end of the world. You can still get a band 8, band 9, as long as you have that level of accuracy, fluency, natural language, okay?
Okay.
All right, Sammy, again, thank you for volunteering. Everybody give an applause or a thumbs up to Sammy. It takes a lot of courage to volunteer in these classes. And I'm actually going to make a note of who's volunteering. So, Sammy, I'm going to make a note that you volunteered here. Because as I said, at the end of each week, we're going to have a draw for a full course for one of our lucky volunteers, okay? So I know that for this one it was Shaheen. So I will make a note of that as well, and then we'll figure out how to do that. Okay, Sammy, thank you so much, and I wish you the best in your studies and on your journey to Canada, to making that big move, okay?
Thank you very much, Adrian. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking with you as well. All right, so let's take another volunteer, and thank you, Gurpreet and Shaheen and others for acknowledging Sammy for being brave. That was great. Okay, I'll take another volunteer here, and I can see that there are lots and lots of students, so let me try to find somebody here. All right. Somebody. Okay. We have Hoang An here, and I know Hoang has been in our classes a number of times here. So let me reach out to Hoang. Okay. Let's see. So Hoang says, I'd love to volunteer. Okay. Let me see if Hoang is still with us. I'm just going to see if Hoang is ready. Okay, and I'm going to do my best, students, to keep track of who's volunteering in these classes so I can find different students at different times. So I'm reaching out to Hoang. Let's see if Hoang is still with us, and Hoang is still with us. Hoang says, yep. And by the way, students, when you're using this on our website, this is how you should do it. So at first, just reach out to someone, and here, like kind of up above there, you have speaking scripts that you can use to practice as well, okay? All right, Hoang, I'm going to give you a call here, and then we'll go over a question or two. Hello, Hoang.
Hello, Adrian.
How are you doing?
Am I audible to you?
You are loud and clear, Hoang, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. And how are you doing today?
Okay. Sorry. I was just playing. I was just putting like 2 taps on. So I think that there was some latency in the sound back there. So I've just closed 1 tap. Can you hear me well now?
I can definitely hear you well now. Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Thank you for having me, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for volunteering. So, Hoang, may I ask, why are you taking the IELTS exam?
Well, I think just like many other students and those who are working, I sit the IELTS test to further both my education and my employment. As a matter of fact, in Vietnam at the moment, having sterling performance in the IELTS test is one of the major credentials for people to go up the career ladder or to get into top universities.
Okay, yeah. So for career and educational development, to reiterate what you're saying, yeah, absolutely, and that's becoming very, very common around the world. And there's a good reason for that, Hoang. A lot of people actually don't know this, but a recent statistic I was reading about states that about 95% of all the money in the world changes hands using English. 95%. And of course, that's because all the big contracts that are worth millions and billions of dollars are usually always in English. But still, that's an incredible number, even if it's not accurate. And even if it's, let's just say 80%, still just imagine, right? 80% of all the money in the world.
Absolutely. I think it does make sense because there's this concept of English as a lingua franca. So
yeah. Absolutely. Okay, I will ask you a couple of questions and then give you some feedback. Does that sound good?
Okay, sounds fine.
All right, Hong. So here we go. Where is a fun place to have a party?
I think an exhilarating location to throw a party or to come to a party is perhaps at a local pub, because on the one hand, party goers don't really have to clean up after themselves as the party ends. And on the other hand, they can just go the whole 9 yards, like ordering all the booze or the services that they feel up to, and playing music as loud as they can. As a matter of fact, I had my birthday party, my 25th birthday party, organized in this way.
Who do you usually invite to your parties?
Well, people that I would love to, that I ask to come over to my parties are my social circle, of course, because we have a lot of common grounds, hence conversation starters or topics to talk about. Other than that, I would like to have new faces, like people from all walks of life, to have a bit of a variety at my party. I think when I think back at my 25th party, which I just told you a few minutes earlier, I did have a few, friends of my classmates over, and we did gossip about their daily lives. Yeah.
Okay, so good. All right, very nice. Okay, so right away, your band score, definitely between 8 and 9. Okay, so 8 on the low end, 9 on the high end, comfortably an 8.5, I think. You're very, very fluent. It's very clear for me that you have a very high lexical. So your lexical resource, Mark, your vocabulary is clearly a band 9. Your pronunciation's good. So your words are very, very clear. And your intonation sounds very English, so you do not have that kind of typical Vietnamese kind of rapid up intonation. You've kind of mastered that smoother, stretched English intonation, as many students are hearing in my voice as well. When I'm speaking, sometimes I stretch my words and take these kind of slower pauses. In English, that's very common. Asian languages, they tend to be more rapid in their intonation at times.
True.
So you've done a good job of practicing that. I can tell that you've had a lot of experience practicing and using the English language. You do make a couple of slight mistakes in your grammar and your word forms, and a couple of very slight oddities that let me know that you're not a native speaker of English. So if you didn't have those, then I would almost believe that you might be a native speaker of English just in some other part of the world, okay? Where English might be a second language, okay? So
that's an incredible praise, so thank you.
Yeah, you've earned it. I mean, you've worked for it. So here I said, where's a fun place to have a party? And you started off beautifully by paraphrasing fun place to, I think, an exhilarating location. Exhilarating location is a really good paraphrase, and it's nice advanced vocabulary. And instead of saying have a party, you right away started to use an expression which is throw a party. And that's very good. We do say that in English quite often. We don't just have parties, but we throw parties. And that immediately shows me that you are an advanced user of the English language. You don't need to repeat yourself. So you said, or to come to a party. That was actually a mistake. You would want to say, or to go to a party, not come to a party. Okay. Don't repeat yourself. So once you've said the verb, like once you've said throw a party, you don't need to say or go to a party. It's fine. It's clear. Okay. So trust in your first response. Okay.
Yeah.
Is a local pub.
Yeah. I mean, when I was speaking to you, I was admittedly I was trembling a little bit in fear. I think, I didn't, so when I was listening to other students speaking, I didn't really feel that, but when I actually, took the plunge, I did feel the test jitters here, but
Yeah, it's tough to be in the limelight, as they say. So it's tough to be in the limelight or put on the spot, right? And then you said, so continuing with your answer, you said, on the one hand, party goers, again, a very nice expression, party goers, don't have to clean up after themselves. And on the other hand, they can go the whole 9 yards, which is a nice idiom. Whole 9 yards means all the way, right? So they can do the full, the complete. So they can go the whole 9 yards. It's an expression from American football, I believe. And they can order all the booze they want. They can listen to music loud. And then you said, as a matter of fact, I went to a pub for my 25th birthday, and then you stopped, which was really good. So you kept your example short, and that was a really good idea, to keep your example short, so that I could ask you the next question, and you connected part one back to yourself because it's about you. Okay, so that was a really critical way to finish that for a nice high band score. Okay,
thank you, Adrian. Thank you so much. As a matter of fact, this is Kevin Bui speaking, actually.
Oh, this is Kevin Bui. Okay, Kevin. All right. Now I'm putting two and two together. Now I understand why you've
and your estimate score. Yeah, your estimate score is absolutely correct. I just got the test result. I think I texted you, and that was actually my speaking score. So
was it? Yeah, I remember. Was it 8.5 then? Yeah. So, and it doesn't surprise me, which is incredible. 8.5, just for everybody who's listening, that Juan got is outstanding because it basically means that you are just about an expert user of the language, and that's even better than most native speakers. To get an 8.5, you have to have really good communication skills.
But anyway, I do have to chalk it up to you, Mr. Adrian, because initially my English level, I mean, it wasn't really up to par, but I did, attend your channel. I've been a regular member, and some clear progress.
All right.
Sure.
Thanks. I appreciate the feedback. Maybe some of our viewers are starting to think that you're a planted speaker here, but it's not the truth. Okay, and then absolutely I asked you the second question here: who do you usually invite to your parties? And then again, very nice paraphrasing. So you said, well, people that I ask to come over to my parties are my social circle, which is again a very nice collocation, social circle, because we have a lot in common. We wouldn't really say a lot of common grounds, although I understand it. I would just keep that a little bit simpler, a lot in common. Hence, we have lots to talk about. Okay, so I would have just simplified that a little bit. Careful, Kevin, not to go over the top with idioms and expressions. It can get awkward if you have too many idioms and expressions. It's usually not something most students have to worry about, but you don't want to have too many idioms and expressions in your speech as well. So hence we have lots to talk about. And then you connected. That was really good. You connected to your previous response. You said, when I think back on my 25th birthday party, which I just told you about earlier, this was the case. Okay, so you can just finish that a little bit simpler. Yes. Okay, I'm just going to take one of these questions, Kevin, and do a repetition exercise with you. So we'll take this first one here, okay? So I'm going to read the question, the response, and then afterwards just copy the answer, okay? So here we go. Where's a fun place to have a party? I think an exhilarating location to throw a party is at a local pub. On one hand, partygoers don't have to clean up after themselves, and on the other hand, they can go the whole 9 yards. I mean, they can order all the booze they want, listen to music loudly. As a matter of fact, this is what I did for my 25th birthday just last month. Okay, where's a fun place to have a party?
I think an exhilarating location to throw parties is at a local pub, because on the one hand, party goers don't really have to clean up after themselves as parties end, and on the other hand, they can just go the whole 9 yards. More specifically, they can order all the booze they want, and enjoy music at max volume. I actually had my 25th birthday organized in this way.
Okay, that's great. So again, you're doing a good job. So I think you realize that, you don't need to add that extra 1 or 2 phrases at the end. So you can just kind of stop and go to the next idea, right? And that's how you can push it to an even cleaner form of English and get that band 9. So make up that half band. So that's fantastic. Okay, well, Kevin, it was really, really nice to hear your voice, and thank you for participating and giving a good example.
You make my day. Thank you so much.
All right, awesome. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day then, and thanks again for volunteering. I appreciate it, Huang.
Okay, have a good one too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so everybody give Huang a round of applause there. That was fantastic. So that's Hoang, and that's a great example of a nice high band level, as you all heard. Hoang did sit his IELTS exam recently and got a band 8.5 for his speaking, and that's what I evaluated him at. So the predictions are pretty accurate in these live classes. A lot of students do come back and say, yep, that's pretty much what I got. Okay, everyone. So that's all the time I have for today. I'm going to make a note of Hoang here. Kevin Bowie. As I said, we will be raffling out some of our courses to our class volunteers in the coming weeks. So that's how you do it, and that's how you practice. And practicing your speaking is the true and one way to really improve and improve quickly for your next IELTS exam. And you can do that for free on our website. So using the exact same software that I was just using with everybody, that's what you can do, and that's free. And you can do that at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, and gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. And again, students, if you want to speak with me, then in your My Student account, you have this yellow speaking interview practice. So if you want to book a speaking session with me, you can do that. Okay, of course, that's a paid service. Keep up the good studies, everybody. Thank you so much, Carolina, for moderating this class, helping to keep the flow of our chat effective. Thank you, everybody, for participating. A special thank you to our volunteers. I will be back tomorrow with more classes. Tomorrow it will be some task 2 for members and some more speaking part 1 for everyone. So I'll catch some different students tomorrow for speaking practice. Make sure to come back and hang out with me. Thank you so much, everyone. Have an awesome rest of your day. Much love to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. Bye for now.